Chapter 23 of Devotional Hours with the Bible, Volume 1, by J.R. Miller. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Marianne. Chapter 23 Joseph's Old Age and Death. Read Genesis chapters 48 to 50. A record in Genesis tells us that Joseph said to his brothers one day, "I die, but God will surely visit you and bring you up out of this land into the land which he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob." And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, "God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones from hence." Word was sent to Joseph one day that his father wished to see him. The old man was thinking of his departure from the earth. He knew that he must die in Egypt, but he did not want to be buried in that strange land. He wanted to lie in the land of promise. So he asked Joseph to swear to him in the rude fashion of the times that he would not bury him in Egypt. Joseph promised. "Swear unto me," said Jacob, and Joseph swore unto him. It was no mere sentiment that made the old man, as his end drew nigh, crave to lie beside his father and his wife in the cave of Machpelah. It was his strong faith in God's promise to give Canaan to his descendants. He believed that the promise would be fulfilled, and he wanted his grave to be where the future home of his children would be. Then he wanted his family, though still for the present abiding in Egypt, to have a constant reminder that Egypt was not their home. He knew that his grave in the land of promise would continually draw upon their hearts. There was another incident. Jacob was sick. Joseph heard it and hastened with his 2 sons to his father's bedside. Jacob adopted these boys as his own, taking them in among his own sons, kissing and embracing them, then stretching out his thin trembling hands and laying them on the heads of the lads, while he uttered this beautiful benediction upon them. "The God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God who hath fed me all my life long unto this day. The angel who hath redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them." Then we have the death scene. All the sons are there, and the dying patriarch in prophetic words unveils the future of each in turn. It is a solemn moment to a man when he stands by the deathbed of a loved and honored father. He lives over again all his own life as he watches the last breathings of his sire and listens to the last words of farewell and benediction. Those were intensely solemn moments to Joseph. All his honors seemed small as he stood there at that patriarchal bed and felt on his head the touch of the hand now growing cold in death. At length the feeble voice ceased to speak. The blessings were all pronounced. Then came the dying charge, "Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron." And when Jacob made an end of the charging of his sons, he gathered up his feet into the bed, and yielded up the ghost, and was gathered unto his people. What a strange thing is death! He who but a little while ago was breathing out his blessings and his farewells is now gone away from the earth. The old house is empty. The love that thrilled the heart with its tenderness and flushed the face with its glow and warmth an hour ago has passed from earth. Life and thought have gone away side by side, leaving door and window wide, careless tenants they. All within is dark as night, in the windows is no light, and no murmur at the door, so frequent on its hinge before. Close the door, the shutters close, or through the windows we shall see the nakedness and vacancy of the dark, deserted house. So that sacred form looked to Joseph as he stood by the bedside and saw that the breathing had ceased. Strange mystery of dying. Quickly Joseph set about to do all that love could do to honor the name and memory of his father. The body was embalmed. Then followed 70 days of mourning, according to the custom in Egypt. After this the patriarch's dying command was obeyed, and the 12 sons, with many Egyptian friends, among them men of rank, bore the body away to Canaan, and laid it to rest beside the bodies of his kindred in the cave of Machpelah. After the burial of his father, the story of Joseph is almost a blank. Only one incident is given. When Jacob was gone, the brothers grew uneasy. They thought that their father's influence had restrained Joseph from seeking revenge upon them for their sin against him, and they feared that now, when this restraint had been taken away, Joseph would visit punishment upon them. The memory of sin dies hard. It had been 40 years since this wrong was committed, and for 17 years the brothers had lived in the sunshine of Joseph's forgiveness, nourished by his love, without a word or an act to suggest aught of resentment. Yet here we find the old dread still lingering. Guilt makes cowards of men. Sins against love plant thorns in the heart. Joseph was pained when he heard of the fears and distrust of his brothers, but his patience did not fail. "Fear not," he said to them, "for am I in the place of God? As for you, ye meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. Now therefore fear ye not, I will nourish you and your little ones." His answer was only a new assurance of affection undisturbed by their treatment. He would nourish them in the days to come as he had done in the past. He would share his honor with them. He would provide for them in the land where they were strangers. He would care for their children. So he comforted them and spoke kindly unto them. After this incident Joseph lived 54 years, but nothing whatever is told us of these years. We can picture to ourselves a ripe and beautiful old age, full of honors and full of usefulness. He had saved Egypt, and there is no reason to suppose that he failed to receive the gratitude of the people of the country until the end of his life. Old age is a severer testing time of character than youth or midlife. Many men who live nobly and richly while in their prime fail in their old age. The grace of Christ, however, is sufficient for the testings and trials of the old as well as of the young. We should set ourselves the task of making the whole day of life, to its last moments, beautiful. Let no one think that he has finished his task of sweet, true living when he has got safely through the years of middle life, into the borders of old age. No, we must not slacken our diligence, our earnestness, our fidelity, our prayerfulness, our faith in Christ, until we have come to the gate of eternity. God's plan for our life takes in all of it, to its close. Grow old along with me, the best is yet to be, the last of life for which the first was made. Our times are in his hands, who saith, "A whole I planned." Youth shows but half. Trust God. See all nor be afraid. At last the time came for Joseph to die, as this time must come to all. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, but God will surely visit you and bring you up out of this land unto the land which he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones from hence. Then the record goes on, giving the end of the story. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt. Embalming was a costly process. When the body had been prepared, it was wrapped in bands of fine linen, and placed in a stone or wooden coffin or mummy case. The Egyptian funeral rites are very elaborate. Because of his great service to the country, Joseph might have had a burial with the highest honors, but he refused all this. It is said that among the ruins of that wonderful land there has been discovered a tomb which it is thought was prepared for Joseph. It is near the pyramid of one of the pharaohs. It is the tomb of a prince. It bears the name Etzef, or Joseph, and the title Abrach, which means bow the knee. If this tomb was prepared for Joseph, he refused to have his body rest in it. He was not an Egyptian, but an Israelite. Like Moses afterwards, he preferred to share the reproaches of his own people rather than receive the honors of a heathen nation. Joseph was not buried at all in Egypt. His body was embalmed there, but not entombed. Egypt had long been his home. It had been the scene of all his honors and triumphs. His wife was an Egyptian. His friends were Egyptians. But he was still a loyal Israelite and would be buried in an Israelite grave. This is the first thought which Joseph's dying command suggests. He was patriotic. But there are other thoughts. In the epistle to the Hebrews, when the faith of Joseph is spoken of, it is remarkable that it is this command concerning his bones that is mentioned. By faith Joseph, when his end was nigh, made mention of the departure of the children of Israel, and gave commandment concerning his bones. How did this show faith? It showed that he believed God's promises concerning his people. His faith was so strong that he refused to be buried at all in Egypt. His burial must wait until his people went up out of Egypt to their own land. Notice the difference in the dying requests of Jacob and Joseph. Jacob, too, refused to be buried in Egypt. He had spent 17 happy years there, and his family was well settled, with his son honored in all the land. But he could not die until he had the pledge from his sons that he would be buried beside his kindred. Joseph's request was different. He was not to be buried in Egypt, yet his body was not to be carried to Canaan until his people should go there. There was a special reason why Joseph made his will in this way. He wanted even his bones to do good after his death. His people would need all the influence that could be put into their lives in the long, dark years before them, to keep alive in their hearts the memory of the promises, love for Canaan, and the hope of possessing that land. The graves of their fathers were there, that made the country dear to love and hope. But Joseph felt that his mummy left among them unburied, waiting to be carried away to Canaan and buried there, would do more to keep hope alive in their hearts than if it lay at rest yonder in the cave of Machpelah. Every time they saw it they would remember why it was unburied, and their thoughts would turn toward their land of promise. By and by it grew very dark in Egypt. The dynasty of the pharaohs who had been Joseph's friends gave way to a new dynasty of kings who had not known him, cared not for his memory, and were jealous of the growth of the Israelites. Bitter oppression followed. In those days of gloom, who knows how much the unburied mummy of Joseph, with his unspoken words of hope, helped to keep the people from despair? Then one night there was great excitement in Goshen. The hour of departure had come. Here is the record. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. Then followed 40 years of weary wandering, and during all this time the mummy of Joseph was in the column or in the camp. At length there was a funeral one day at Shechem, and those bones, in their Egyptian mummy case, were laid to rest by Joshua. Here again is the record. And the bones of Joseph buried they in Shechem, in the parcel of ground which Jacob bought of the sons of Hamor. When tourists journey in the Holy Land, they are shown at Shechem the tomb of Joseph. It is but a little way from the pit at Dothan, into which his brothers cast him to die. So the great wrong is righted, for the world now honors his grave. We may take 2 lessons from Joseph's dying words. One is a lesson of faith. I die, and God will surely visit you. He would die, but God would live on and his work would go on. God buries his workmen, but carries on his work. We have only one little fragment to build in the wall. Then we shall die. But the work will go on, for God lives on, and his plans and purposes halt not. The other lesson is that we should live so that the memory of our life and its influence, when we are gone, shall inspire those who stay behind. The memory of the just is blessed. Joseph's embalmed body, kept among his people, spoke not only for his noble work in the past, but declared ever the word of hope for the future. It said, This is not your home. You are but tarrying here as strangers and pilgrims. By and by you will go on. End of chapter 23.